you guys all remember when your parents used to pull out their disposable cameras or their expensive film cameras, and they would like want to take a million pictures of you, and like this is the technology that they had like before the digital era or the digital age, and every important or significant moment was imprinted onto a long strip of film, and it was almost like magic to your parents, except, you know, it's technically science. Many of you might have felt that the use of film hasn't affected you, but film was a part of your life at some moment in time, because this is what we started with. Our parents used it to be able to take pictures of us, and because they wanted to remember everything, or the whole process of you growing up. And I always thought that photography was really fascinating, because I always looked back at pictures that my parents would take of my brother and I, and of my grandparents, and it was really touching, and I wanted to be able to experience the whole use of film. But when I first started using a camera, it was we were well into the digital age, so I started off with a really small Sony point and shoot, and it was really crappy, but after a couple of years, my brother bought me a Holga 135 VC, and it's equivalent to a disposable camera, except it's a lot more expensive and you can't throw it away. And then I received a hand-me-down that was it was called a Nikon F90X, and it's what I'm using right now. But once I started using film, I had this good understanding that film wasn't popularly used anymore, and I thought that that was really sad. And once I started doing research about all this, about film and the industries and the companies that created and supplied film, I started to realize that film really wasn't popular anymore. So in Economist of 2006, they said that Konica Minolta, the third world's largest film supplier, made a withdrawal from the photography business. Fuji Photofilm, the second world's largest film supplier, experienced a collapse in business, and the world's largest film supplier, Kodak Film, attempted restructure due to a $1.4 billion loss in 2005. And in the New York Times in January 2012, they stated that Kodak Film finally declared bankruptcy. And the reality is that our technology has advanced so much over time that we'll soon find ourselves saying goodbye to analog cameras and what we first started with, photographic film. The fading of this technology's existence could possibly be the decline of our creativity in the world of art. And photographic film sparked innovations and ideas in photography, so I believe that we should try to prolong its life. So why should we save photographic film? Well, first of all, using film encourages people to think twice before they decide to take that picture. Eric Kim, he's a street photographer, and he wrote in his blog the 10 reasons why you should shoot street photography with film. He says that when you're more selective, you work with a smaller batch of photos, but in terms of quality and seeing things that you like in your work, it's easier to find that in your pictures. So knowing that you have to be selective when you're using film, this kind of gives you this basic idea, or this thought that, oh, well, film gives you so many restrictions, why should you use it? Well, when you use film, you're limited to several options offered by your camera, but this doesn't mean that, this doesn't necessarily mean that your photos lack quality or creativity. You can control so many things that, with the options that you have for your camera. You can adjust lighting, you can figure out what you exactly want in a camera. You can choose your type of development. You're really open to a lot of opportunities with just this simple technology. And with that being said, this type of technology gives you the opportunity to make your own creations. When people use film, it gives them a chance to teach themselves to take the most appealing photos. You're basically forced to be able to master the whole idea of how to use a camera, how to get more light into your pictures, how to get a certain subject in focus more than others. It's all your work. And now in the digital age, we are given the idea that, hey, I have a memory card that can hold more than 4,000 pictures. Why should I give any thought into any of the work that I do? Because I could just shoot away. But that takes away a lot from the process of making your own art. And it's just really sad that you could become so lazy with this type of technology because it's so wonderful. You can have such amazing pictures, but it could be meaningless. So we're in an age where technology encourages us to create things instantly, and because of this, we turn away from the things that we had in the past. But it's important to remember that much of our creativity and our work has come from photographic film. This technology encouraged us to believe that we didn't have to, what we didn't have could never stop us from creating things that we ourselves can call art. So I think that when any of you guys have the chance, that you should pick up any film camera that you can find, pop in a roll of film, and just take pictures and see what you can make, see what you can create and capture, because it's all you. You're putting all your work into it, and it's just an amazing feeling. I think that it's magical because you're able to take pictures and not know what's in it, and once you put it and bring it to a lab and get it developed, it's amazing because you don't remember everything that you took, and you can look back at it and say, hey, I made this. That's awesome. And you guys shouldn't care about quality being lacked when using film, because your mistakes can actually be the most remarkable things that you could ever have achieved.